The spirits are restless, and the heavens rumble with ill omens. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Going on with the next part of our first edition Pathfinder Shaman guide, today we are going to start taking a look at the different kinds of spirits that you can pick up in. Whew, I knew there was going to be a bunch extra going into this with this class, but man, there's a lot to cover for each one. So we're going to break that up a little bit into a couple of different options, because not only do you have your primary pick, but you also have wandering spirits that you can select day by day as well to help adapt your character to a wider range of situations. So really, this is another one of those classes with an incredible amount of flexibility to it, and really you can do a lot to build into a bunch of different roles. Clerics in and of themselves can make some incredible fighters, and shamans are also right there with them, particularly with their different spirit options and the bonuses that they provide on top of their spell casting, their 3/4 progression for their base attack bonus, and they can be surprisingly tanky and durable. Maybe not as durable as a full-on cleric or other dedicated melee class, but still pretty dang close. But before we get into what we have on offer for you today, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and listed yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, go on down and hit the like button, share the video far and wide. Now, with all that said and out of the way, the pesky things where I ask you to support the channel and all that, let's go ahead and start getting into this. And to start us off for our first spirit option, and this is going to be what we have for this build, we have the Heavens. The bonus spells that you get from this: first level, you pick up Color Spray. Second level's Hypnotic Pattern. For third level, you're getting Daylight. Fourth level, you get Rainbow Pattern. Fifth level, you're going to grab Overland Flight. Sixth level, you get Chain Lightning from this. Seventh level, you get Prismatic Spray. Eighth level is Sunburst, and then ninth level is Meteor Swarm. You have two okay spells in there. Meteor Swarm is a powerful spell, but it's pretty lackluster as far as ninth level spells go, and it also deals fire damage, and fire damage is the most commonly resisted and most common outright immunity out there, and that's all before you get into reflex saves and the like, saving for partial damage. But overall, still not a bad selection of bonus spells that you get at each spell level. Then for hexes, you start picking up things like Enveloping Void. It's a standard action to target one creature in 30 feet and treat the light as 2 steps darker. Areas of dim light to dark become supernaturally dark, and dark vision cannot see through it. That's pretty dang good right there. And continuing on with the hexes that you get from the Heaven Spirit, you have Guiding Star. When able to see the open night sky, you add your Wisdom modifier to the Charisma modifier on all of your Charisma-based skill checks. Once a night, while outdoors, you can cast one spell as if it were affected by the Empower spell, Extend spell, Silence spell, or Still spell feat without increasing the casting time or spell level. The Shaman doesn't need the requisite feat for this to work. And, of course, joining me right now is my most adorable co-host, Finn. He has been hanging out in here with me again, working on this whole grabbing and picking things up business, trying to learn how to roll as well, but hence the little cries of protest back there. Supposed to be leaving you to your work and studies, buddy. Why are you not continuing to learn? You just want to... I can't say no to him. What kind of a lore master would I be if I said no to such an adorable apprentice at every turn? So, going on from there to the next hex that we have on hand. I should mention with Guiding Star, before we move on, it's not bad. It actually would be really great. It's just really hamstrung by the fact that it has to be nighttime. That really does shut this down, because otherwise it's got a lot of utility and flexibility by offering you options with those 4 meta magic feats. But having to be outside at night it really does hinder that a lot. So if you're out at night, which will probably happen frequently, great. But moving on from there, we have Heaven's Leap. It's a standard action to target self or ally you can see within 30 feet and move that creature as if using Jester's Jaunt. You can't target that ally again for 1 day. Now, it should be mentioned that this does pair up pretty nicely with the first level spell that the shaman gets access to, and that is a hex vulnerability, allowing you to affect a target multiple times with a hex that normally is limited to just 1 time. So this could definitely be useful for that, and Jester's Jaunt isn't a bad spell, but it's got very short range in that they're only able to move about 30 feet or so. But because you can look at a target within 30 feet using this hex, then you move them another 30 feet, you actually get just a little bit more range out of it. And so this is going to be actually a little bit more handy than what I think some guides have listed it as. Illusory themselves actually rates this pretty highly. Now then, lastly, we have Lure of the Heavens. At first level, this hex allows you to no longer leave tracks. At 5th level, you hover up to 6 inches off the ground or liquid surfaces. And then at 10th level, you can fly as per the spell for a number of minutes equal to your shaman level, spent in 1-minute increments. Now, the fact that this scales as you level is pretty great. The fact that you can hover 6 inches off the ground makes you immune to a lot of different traps, a lot of different effects like that. So definitely something worth keeping in mind. And then we go on from there to the next hex, which is Starburn. Standard action to deal 1d6 every 2 levels of fire damage and cause the target to emit bright light for 1 round. Fortitude save for half damage, usable a number of times equal to the charisma modifier per day. So the fact that you get multiple uses out of this is good. The damage isn't super great. The fact that it's fire damage does hamstring this a bit, but it does specifically emit a bright light off of whatever poor schmuck you've decided to light fire to. So neat, interesting, but probably not something you're going to want to make regular use of. Now, for the spirit animal offered by the Heaven's Spirit, the animal's skin accurately shows stars that would be visible in the night sky, making it usable as a star map. It gains a fly speed of 5 feet, and if it can already fly, the speed increases by 10 feet. While flying, a nimbus of light surrounds the animal. Pretty cool all the way around there. Very thematic, feels very appropriate, and just a really cool effect to have. Now, for the spirit abilities you get, for your first one, we have Stardust. It's a standard action to coat 1 target within 30 feet with stardust, causing them to glow like a candle, preventing benefit from concealment and invisibility effects. Gives a -1 to attack and vision-based perception checks, increasing by 1 at 4th level and every 4 levels after. -6 at level 20 is where it caps out. This lasts 1/2 the shaman level in rounds, usable 3 plus the charisma modifier times a day. Greater and True Spirit abilities here. Now, the Greater Spirit ability is Void Adaptation. You gain 60 feet worth of Dark Vision. If you already have Dark Vision, you increase that by another 30 feet. You can see in supernatural darkness. You're under a constant Endure Elements effect and no longer need to breathe. Some pretty serious bonuses right there. And then lastly, we have Phantasmagoric Display. You can cast Prismatic Spray and Prismatic Wall once a day using Shaman level as your caster level. Pretty damn cool right there. All the way around, those are great abilities. The first level ability, though, the first spirit ability, that's huge. I mean, invisible opponents are going to stand no chance against you. Now, lastly, for your manifestation at 20th level, you could consider this another capstone ability in and of itself. We have Void Adaptation. gain wisdom modifier as a bonus to all saves, automatically stabilize when under 0 hit points, become immune to fear effects, and auto-confirm all crits. If the shaman dies, they're reborn 3 days later as a star child, whatever that is, reaching maturity over 7 days as the reincarnate spell. Now, in looking this up, I can't find what exactly a star child is. It doesn't specify it anywhere. The only thing I could find was an optional trait that you can swap out for half-elves, if I'm remembering this right off the top of my head. So you reincarnate as a half-elf, possibly, with the Star Child trait, which makes you sensitive to psychic phenomena and stuff, potentially making you a psychic character, but that's not really confirmed, so that's something where you really need to check with your DM if you get to this point, because you have a character that's functionally immortal by these rules here, unless acted upon by some other means as ruled by your DM. And although reincarnate does have a lot of its own risks and issues, the fact that you can just kind of come back, though, and after 10 days essentially be all better, I mean, that's pretty damn huge. That's a great ability, and all the way around, this makes the Shaman class just very, very, very cool. Now, not all spirit selections are made equal, so as you move forward and proceed with building your characters, definitely be thinking about it. Take a look at how everything gels and meshes together and plan accordingly. But what do you think? Go on down to the comments below, let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below so we can engage in discussion. Hit those like or dislike buttons, and remember, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamers Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night. Oh, and this has also been Finn, apprentice storyteller, uninitiated to any circles of lore. He also says goodnight as well, and he's going to go back to chewing on things.